G'day everybody and welcome back for some more Stationeers on Venus with all of the requisite cooling problems that brings. So, some of you, hopefully most of you, will have seen that I did a little extra recording that I posted over on my Flipsy YouTube channel where I finished off the duplication of the cooling setup. So now I have these two parallel systems. And at the time, I didn't appreciate this, but this is actually a very useful setup for me because this allows for experimentation to see whether there are things I can do that make these setups better or worse. And there are questions people can ask in the comments that I can be like, yeah, let's test that. Let's see if it improves things or not. Let's see what difference it really makes, because there are expected outcomes and then there are the actual outcomes. And for science, you got to do these things. Basically, what I realized was if I check the temperature of this pipe and the temperature of this pipe, because those are at the ends of these loops, any changes I make that make a significant difference should make a difference in those pipes. Now, I do have to point out there is more water in this top loop for most of them than there is in this bottom loop. So the top loop does tend to cool this last CO2 line down by about 3 to 4 degrees Celsius more than the bottom loop. But as long as I know that start point, any change I make to the bottom loop can be measured off that difference. So it's really not... So it shouldn't be a problem. One of the questions that had come up in the comments a fair bit was about the pressures that I'd been setting the condensation loops and the evaporation loops. Evaporative, what are they called? Evaporation? Chambers, not loops. Why am I saying loops? Too many loops. The evaporation chambers at. The question that was asked was basically, does it make a difference having a larger volume of gas inside the evaporation loop to allow for more moles of water to evaporate at once, therefore allowing for more rapid cooling? Because if I set the evaporation chamber to the specific pressure for the temperature it's working at, will that be better? The answer to that is, I'm pretty sure, a resounding no. No, that will not be better. 115 degrees versus 104. There is an 11 degrees Celsius difference between these, with my evaporation chambers set to appropriate pressures for their temperature. As you can see here, this one's set to 400 kPa because it's operating at nearly 200 degrees Celsius. If we go to water, change it to Celsius to make it easier. Should be operating somewhere around 400 and 500 kPa. This is moving 3.98 kilojoules. This is moving 9. This one's set to 1 kPa. Similarly, this one down here, set to 40 kPa, moving 4.16, 4.59. Moving 2.53, moving 3.79. So it's significantly worse. Basically, as I suspected, the lower the pressure you're trying to achieve, the more the gases just keep getting dragged off and the more energy you can move by doing that, which is what I understood to happen based off real world physics. And so that's what I'd set them to. So I'm going to change these back to what they should have been, which is just 1 kPa. Could probably even leave them at 0, but for some reason that feels wrong. On the condensation chamber side of things, these are just targeting as high a pressure as they can get. They don't usually reach that pressure because the water liquefies at the temperatures I'm working at well before it reaches those pressures, but it's trying to. So it's just going to keep jamming that water in there, and any liquid that comes out will come out. So it's more that they're trying to achieve this, but they don't actually achieve this. And so all the condensation chambers being set as high as they can go, and all of the evaporation chambers set as low as they can go. That's fine for water in the temperatures I'm working in, because I'm always working in the safe range of water. I'm always in this zone. Nothing's going to push me into solid, and nothing's going to push me all the way up here into permanent gas. Unless the air conditioners break. Which could happen, I suppose. So that's where I'm operating safely. If you're making something with pollutants and liquid nitrogen and all these things, then you might actually need to work at those temperatures to try and get things, work on those pressures and get things to the correct temperature that you're aiming for. Whereas I'm just trying to max it out. I don't have any reason to restrict the range that these things can work at. So yeah, that's some learning I've had about these things and some really convenient testing that we can continue to do today, as I've got a couple of ideas of things I want to do that we can test throughout the day. You need to leave the loops running for a while for it to see what they can actually do. So I've got to leave this bottom loop running again so that we can get it back to steady state and close to the other one. Right. Thanks, Sisu. Thank you for Loki 13 months. Thank you, Geet, for 20 months. Thank you, Johnny, for 15 months. And thank you, Daz, for 7 months. And thank you, Roland, for the 10 gift subs that I did see come in the middle of that long rant, but I just didn't want to get myself too sidetracked because I really wanted to get that out in one hit and hopefully not have too many things where I've said the wrong thing when I meant the right thing. Like, for example, when in the video that I posted, I placed this as a condensation chamber. I have replaced it. It is an evaporation chamber. As soon as I came in to pressurize this loop, which I did just off stream, I realized that something was wrong there. So I fixed it. Thanks, Wizard Friend. Thank you for the Prime sub. So, with those two loops running in parallel, I did time it, and this thing can do a batch now. Let me just find my clock on my phone. The loop that, when I tested it, originally it took 7 minutes and 47 seconds to process a single batch with the single line of cooling. Now it takes 4 minutes and 17 seconds. So, better. Will I rebuild the pollutant phase change loop? No. Not anytime soon, no. Maybe I'll get inspired to test it later, but at the moment, no. What I'm thinking about right now is the issue I have with this room in here not being breathable. And I don't understand why. My understanding was that you needed a partial pressure of oxygen of above 20 kPa. Oh, which it's definitely not now. Interesting. Thought it was. I guess it's not. Okay, so I need to manage to get more oxygen through my filter system. No, the CO2 isn't too high. The CO2 partial pressure is fine. So the way that if I understand it correctly, and I think I've got it right, the way that the breathability in Stationeers works is that you must have a minimum total pressure and a minimum partial pressure of oxygen. So what that means is, like we were doing with this circuit here, trying to get the partial pressure of oxygen to, I think is it 22 kPa? So you could have an atmosphere of 50 kilopascals that's breathable if 22 of those 50 are oxygen. So it's not quite reaching that because I've annoyingly only got 20%. Wait, that's 20% of 100. So that one is reaching 20. But in the room, it's 20% of 90, which is not enough. So I'm wondering about, I'm contemplating adding an ice crusher to the cold pollutant line so that I can dump the oxides that I've got into there, or at least some of them, so that we can quickly get some oxygen and nitrogen into these tanks. I think that's going to be my quickest way of getting it through. Why have I got storm inside? So I think I'll just go and make an ice crusher. Put a couple of blocks of oxide in and that should cover me. Is it a storm? Oh yeah, it's a storm. Ice crusher. Ice crusher. Thanks, KB. Thanks for the prime sub. Once I get this ice crusher set up, which is just to have an option, then yes, what I probably need to do is get a way to pull the oxygen out of the greenhouse and into the filtration system. But the reason I'm not doing that immediately is the issue with the way my filtration system works, where I would intend to pump back into this tank here. And this tank, yeah, it has 776 moles of oxygen in it. But this line has only 1.67 moles, and this line has nearly none. We'll get onto the pollutant that's in this line in a minute, which is another annoying thing that I don't understand how that even happened. I'm going to make this temporary. I don't want the ice crusher in here permanent. Or do I want to put it here? Maybe I could put it here at the end. I have an ice crusher. Yeah, let's do that. So the pollutant thing, you might notice there's this random floating filter here. Apparently, somehow, and I don't know how, some pollutant got past the pollutant filter. I don't know how. Some pollutant got into this loop in here. There's a tiny bit of pollutant in it, which means that the pollutant's also getting through to the cold side. And so I don't even know how that happens, because it shouldn't be possible. So what I built was just a quick filter here that's running off this loop the same as these filters are and pumping it outside, which is what I need to do for the big tank as well. Because one of the realizations I had was that with the amount of volume in this tank, at the pace I was going with that single loop of cooling, it was going to take me, I think I said 2 months for this to empty out at the pace I was going, and with how regularly I stream. So I'm going to take the CO2 out of this tank and dump it to expedite things, so that it doesn't, so the CO2 doesn't need to be cooled, because I've probably got enough carbon dioxide to work with for quite some time with almost 27 kilomoles of it. So yeah, that's that. So what I can probably, oh no, wait, that's on the cold side. Never mind. What do you want? You want a welding torch and iron sheets. I need to go find some iron sheets. Yeah, wrapped up. I don't know how I would have done it when I was rebuilding pipes or messing with the pollutant stuff and like the pollutant loop. That's my best guess, but I don't know how I would have gotten such a tiny amount in there, because the amount in there is really quite small. So I don't know. Strange. And the handy thing about getting rid of the CO2 is, as is pointed out in chat, CO2 at that temperature on Venus is not something to be saved. I can just grab it from the atmosphere if I ever need it. It's very simple. Okay, so all I should need to do is plug this into power and plug this straight into the orange pipe here, I guess. Or the brown pipe. Little pollutant is good for you, it makes you stronger. If only. Alright. Power, where am I going to run power from? Yeah, over on the wall makes the most sense, I think. Let me... There you go. Alright, let's go grab some of those ices. And see if we can get some of the oxygen into that tank. Thanks to Killjoy. Thank you for the 22 months. Ice. Ice is in the red backpack. Over here. Isn't the connection in the middle? No. There are two connections on the back of an ice crusher. One is for liquid, one is for gas. Top one is gas, bottom one is liquid. Let's just make sure I've got the right stuff in here. Yep, oxygen, nitrogen, CO2, with the tiny bit of pollutant slowly being filtered out. And in goes some oxide. It should get immediately filtered and then probably immediately put into the dining room. Oh, that's taking a long time to crush. Also, why is it getting so warm? Hello? Why are you not... I don't remember crushers being this slow. And I've definitely used crushers since the phase change. Why is crusher being so slow? Oh, I know you can change the target things, but the default, I don't ever remember it being this slow. However, I did normally have them outside. I don't even remember it being this slow when I played, I did a brief thing just messing around, playing on my own on Europa, and I don't remember it being this slow there. Thanks, Justin. Thank you so much for tier 3 at 31 months. Thank you very much. Boo. To you too. Every time I say that word now, I expect a giggling toddler to smile back at me. I wonder if that's going to be enough oxygen in that one stack. Let's have a look. Oh, 2.25 pascals. No, it's not going to be enough. It is definitely not. Alright. So I'll guess I'll put a few more stacks through. And hope that we get enough oxygen to make that room breathable. If the tank's up to 43 kPa, that's going to help. I think it will happen more slowly. If I were to drop oxide in here, in the dining room, the correction will happen more slowly because I've got the room being, the air being taken out of the room at 100 kPa. So I will exceed that, and then a random mix of what remains will go through the pipes that take the air out of here, and then have to go all the way through the whole filtration system before they can eventually make their way back here. This way I'm bypassing the filtration system, which should, in theory, work quicker. But the pressure in here is not going as quickly in the right direction as I thought it should. It is going up. I think I need to change my code. I think I need to set the oxygen target a bit higher and the CO2 a bit lower. Thanks, Bartman. Thank you for 21 months. Is the gas being taken out of the pipe as that's over 100 kPa before it has much of a chance to equalize with the room? It shouldn't. Like, the way this should be working is nothing should be getting moved from this pipe to this pipe. Because it shouldn't be exceeding it, but for some reason it is. How is that pipe of higher pressure? What? That should just be connected to a passive vent only. How is it over pressure? Hang on. Hang on. I might know where the problem is. That's not it, but I think the problem's in the greenhouse. When you cycle the airlock, does that increase the pressure in the room slightly? If anything, it should decrease it. When I cycle to go in. When I cycle to go out, it'll increase. I think this is generating the pressure problem. Oh no, wait, this is off. Oh. Never mind. Thought this might have been overpressurizing the line. That's not even connected to it? No, it's not even connected. I'm so confused where some of these things and why they're happening. Oh, we're up to 21. I didn't think that worked. Getting there. I'll pop another 50 in. Yeah, tough. If I connect the rooms, things will equilibrate, but I don't want to do that until the dining room is safe. Because I don't want to make my remaining safe eating space unsafe. Which it will happen. Because what's going to happen is the greenhouse is at low pressure. So maybe it wouldn't do it because the greenhouse is big enough. But the risk would be that I would end up dumping all that safe oxygen out into this tank and having nowhere for it to then go because I've got to wait for everything to filter. Glad you've been enjoying it, TT McGee. Okay. Guess I'll start building a CO2 filter to start stripping the CO2 out of the hot tank. Sooner I do that, the better. Although part of me wants to pull it out of the line that's after the pollutant and nitrous filters. Just in case volatiles are going through at high enough volume that they could be ignited. And the CO2 is a nice buffer to hopefully prevent that. I need carbon dioxide filters. Dells, it's 120 kilometers. Yeah, Malakat, that's what I thought too. I thought the partial pressure of O2 needed was 15 kPa. But last time I tried to breathe that room, I died. Well, my lungs got badly injured, and I couldn't breathe in it. So something's fishy there. Something's very fishy. I don't know what. Could just be the ripe smell of my suit. Yeah, so the reason I haven't, oh, where did I kick that CO2 filter to? No? There. The reason I haven't put a bypass line that would go cold to cold is that if I do that, I end up with no pollutant filter. I would then have to have an additional pollutant and nitrous filter on the cold side of things. And I was debating that last week and decided that that probably wasn't what I wanted to do. But what I'm tossing up right now is if this spot is where I should be taking the CO2 from. I think it should be. Although there isn't really any volatiles in there. The upshot of taking it from here is that I'm going to move the oxygen through into into this side of the filtration system more quickly. Is this thing that's going to be ditching the CO2 going to be permanent? That's what I'm trying to decide right now. Because if it's permanent, I want it at the start. If it's temporary, I want it here. Actually, where can I fit it neatly? Let's think about that instead. I think I want to put it here. And I'll pipe it around to the back of this tank here because I need to have access to one of these windows. Otherwise, I'm going to have to pipe the brown pipe waste line all the way down to the window. Although it would fit neatly back here as well. Then I could just pipe along the wall. Neatly there or neatly there? I think neatly here. I think that'll look better.
Hunger caution.
This is hard. Suppose this, yeah, I'm putting it down here. This will work just fine. Alright, filtration. No, not electrolyzer. Filtration. And we'll put it in line with the other ones so that it looks neat. I need some brown pipes. I'm well aware, don't worry. Don't worry. I know this isn't something that can stay on all the time, because once I actually get the air circulation system going, I'll have cold CO2 going into the system and I won't want to drain that out. But that's still a while away and I need to get rid of the hot CO2 now. So unfiltered goes back this way. Filtered goes straight outside. I'm kind of wondering whether I should have a multiple vents on my little outside loop here. That goes to the passive vent that's outside. Should I be putting multiple passive vents out there? Will the connection of multiple systems to it start overwhelming that one passive vent? Should be able to just go around the back. And I will drive this bit down here. Then we should be good. Back those up. I definitely think that this thing needs to be a manually controlled thing. I'm not going to set up any automated system for it. It'll just be a filter I turn on whenever the big tank gets so full that it just... cooling is just a nightmare. The reason I was wondering about the cooling being... about the passive vent being an output limit is that this thing jumps in temperature. And I wondered whether I could... whether I was losing cooling efficiency as a result. Now I need my basic pipes. Where are some basic pipes? Okay. Oop. And just make sure, filtered, unfiltered. Heavy carbon dioxide filters, and see how quickly this goes. Nope. Let's power it up first. I need to go print some cable. Power is usually helpful for powered things. Barnaby, there's no temperature difference day-night. This is Venus. There's no difference. Thanks, Andy. Thank you for the Prime sub. And that flickering difference, you can see whether there's a storm or not. What was I making? I was making cables. Cable. And you stack exhausted filters. No. I should probably start thinking today about moving my furnace and designing a room for the furnace so that then I can have a new production room with storage and stuff. I'm not going to go with silos. I'm going to go with like shelves. But when I go for a storage room, I should also, in that storage room, have my recycler set up to, well, recycle and process all the things I don't want to store. I have a stacker. Why do we need another stacker? Surely one stacker is enough for everything, right? Can't possibly need to stack more than one thing. Do skulls go in a recycler? No, skulls go on plinths around the eventual grand entrance I build to my base. In memory of those gone before. Malakat, the bingo card doesn't count if you just say things knowing full well what's going on. And I know you know full well what's going on. I have actually tried to look into making actual bingo cards. I didn't find anything good. It was a while ago I looked, so maybe there are better options now, but yeah. I actually did look into it once. More as a gag than anything else, but I did try and see if it was going to be a possibility. I don't know why I'm doing this, but it just means that it's done. I don't have to deal with it later if I decide to change things. All right, now we should be able to filter off that CO2. Although the filtration is going to be super ineffective because the pressure differential is so high. Wait, no, this should be good. Oh no, I'm going to need a pump here. I need a pump. Now, is one pipe segment going to be enough? Or is that just asking for that pipe segment to explode? Oh, I can do this. There we go. Bye. I'll make that safe. How bring power through? Now I've got this power here, but I don't want to use that power line because that's actually coming down from the cooling setup. And I think I want to redo the ice crusher and connect it up to my filtration power line instead. So that it's safely coming from a different transformer. Okay, so pump. Nope, wrong way. Pump goes on. Filter turns on.
Jetpack critical.
We have that dropping. We have that. Yay, having a good pressure differential. Process 17 moles. So the pressure in this pipe network probably isn't going to change terribly much because all it's allowing is these two filters to go on. So I shouldn't see much of a change in pressure, but the fact that these two filters have turned on tells me that it is working. Oh, and it has dropped below 30, just. We should start seeing, eventually, the kilomoles of CO2 in this dropping. There you go, 92.2. That'll take a while, but it's speeding up the process of me getting to steady state, which is good. So, time for me to fill up my jetpack and make sure it's my jetpack that's getting filled, not my air tank. I do need to show that clip. I forgot to make an actual clip of it over on YouTube of what happened. Yes, I know my hydration is critical. I'm going to deal with it in a sec. Get my jetpack back, and then I will go and eat and drink in the greenhouse. Yes, painting my bottles might make it a bit safer, but the safer thing is just don't ever use your personal tanks as working tanks. Personal tanks are personal tanks. Working tanks are working tanks. Never mix the two. I did turn off the CO2 filter. Oh, I don't have any muffins left. I need a muffin. Muffin. Water. Here we go. Heavy breathing started. No, luckily I'm about to deal with it. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Muffin. Let's drink a little bit of water first so that I stop the heavy breathing as soon as possible. There we go. Now, I did use up my last pill, so let me just see if I can quickly find the recording and what happened. It would be... It's today? Today's the 5th. It'll probably be this one. Probably this. So what I was doing was setting up the loops and pressurizing some of the lines. And I swapped my air tank instead of my propellant tank. Didn't I get a new pill when respawning? I might have. That's a good point. It might be in that other suit. Except I'm not sure exactly when that happened. Obviously before this, because I'm checking the pressures and stuff in tanks. Ah, here we go. Here's where things are about to go wrong. I don't remember how to... I should have opened this in VLC. Yep, there we go. Just put CO2 in my breathing tank.
Oxygen low. Oxygen critical.
And just put all my air into there.
Low pressure.
Now I'm breathing hot CO2 and oxygen.
Low pressure. Cognition low.
I did have the wherewithal to turn off the filter though, so that things didn't explode, so there was that.
Cognition low.
And...
Cognition critical.
deaded. So that's what happened. And that is why I now have a policy of do not use working things as your other things. You know what I'm trying to say? My brain. Do not use do not use suit tanks as working tanks. Oh, just got to the mute in time for that sneeze. Nope, chipsticks, still not made any tablet stands. Let's just go back and see what I was doing, because I've already forgotten what I was up to when I realized I needed to deal with that. At least all my warnings are gone. The CO2 filter's working. Still want to put a bit more oxide through, because still not getting that pressure up in there yet. And eventually I'm going to crush all this ice anyway, I think. So there's no big incentive. Oh, that's dropped to 28.4 megapascals. So it is actually processing the CO2 faster than I'm pumping it through. Possibly not ideal. Oh, we're down to 88.5 from 97 or something? 92? I think it was 100 when I did my recording, and it's now down to this, which is pretty good. One sec. So the value of the uncrushed ice for me is that I can more easily utilize it in places where I might need it at some point, but yeah, I think I'm ready to do one of two things, which is start working on the furnace room or decorating more of this room. But I think I'll work on the furnace room, which means dumping a bunch of this stuff back so I've got space in my inventory. Yeah. No, what? No. Don't want to open those things. I'm going to think about how the furnace room is going to work. So... Oh, that's the other thing I needed to think about. I'm using a lot more power now. I need to keep an eye on my batteries. I might need the occasional reminder to check them every now and then. But they're looking good because of that storm that just came through, so we're alright for a while. But I can now smelt stellite, so I can probably build myself a solar array. Which would be nice. Don't want to do anything with traders today. They fixed the bug where the trader resets what they've got when you leave them there long enough. The trader, I checked them the other day, still sold out of water. So I can probably just send him away. Unless I want to buy bulk liquid oxygen. Do I want to do that? Probably not. And I accidentally clicked the wrong button anyway. Oh well. He's gone. I clicked the wrong button. But I've got gas for less. So that worked out well. What happens if you toss something in the ship and send the trader away? Huh. Where have I got this? The trouble is I've got this set up just to go to the water. I would need to change things up if I want to buy liquid O2. How much can I afford? All of it. I sell to you consumables, duct tape, carbon dioxide, plastic sheets, and cable coils. Eh. That's the other thing I need to remember. I do need to hook up this thing so I can sell my bulk CO2 that I've cooled down. Buy bulk pollutant and just let it out. Yeah. Only gets me 35 bucks though. It's a lot of work for 35 bucks. But, you know, once it's set up, it means anytime a gas trader comes by, I can easily just vent it for money. Yeah, I think what I probably do want to set up would be a way to get the water off first from the landing pad and then have the rest of the gas go straight into my filtration system. So it can then just be processed as other gases would. Because obviously it'll cool this down, making the whole process run faster anyway. But I don't want to send liquids into this, because then I'll stress all the pipes and cause problems. Actually, does the landing pad have a separate liquid and gas off thing? Well, I'll be buying liquid O2, so it comes as a liquid. I need it to evaporate. Yeah, I'll need to have some sort of valve in here so that I don't instantly send all of the liquids through. Should I set that up now? Why don't I set that up now? Well, let's focus on the trader side of things rather than straight onto the furnace, because I think this will be valuable to have set up anyway. Separate liquid and gas landing pad structures. But he sells liquid. Oh wait, no, these are gases. He's selling gases. The other guy was selling liquids. These are already gases at 20C. All right, let's go make a gas landing pad. Thing. Yeah, Torf, that was part of the motivation for putting windows in my gas handling room, is that it would give me the ability to run pipes through. Now I did have a landing pad thing left over, I thought, but I don't know if, I doubt it's the right one. I have no idea where it went. Oh. I think it's electronics. Landing pad, atmospherics. Yeah, it's a separate thing. I don't have an extra one of those. I'm undoubtedly going to need some of these. And I'm going to need more insulated pipe. We'll leave that running for a minute while we go and set this up. Requires a frame below for support. Huh? That's what I wanted. Gas output. Oh, I need a separate input and output and... Oh, okay. That's different. Do I want a storage as well? Probably not. Probably don't need to worry about that. Maybe I do need a storage. I need a storage to be able to sell it, don't I? The gas output can go there. Need a volume pump. Oh, my waste tank. I need to fix that. On the far right shelf, this. Oh, I do have another line. It was the atmospherics. I got bored too soon, and I stopped looking. Whoops. Nope. Yes. I'm gonna have moments of pause before I do that all the time now, I think. Let's go grab... I want this to be brown because it's mixed. I've got volume pumps in here. I probably do want to just run a pump that Actually, I could just leave. I shouldn't need to pump the gas out, should I? Can all equalize and gradually get pulled out anyway. All right. Oh yeah, Brandano, the 9x9 was meant to take up that space, wasn't it? That's why I left it. I think I will have to reorganize my wind turbines because it makes more sense to me to have the atmospherics here, like have storage and stuff alongside this wall in this space than to put it all along the back wall and then run it back round. So yeah, any expansion will have to go out that way. That's okay. By the time I get to that, I think I'll be in a mood to rearrange all my wind turbines. Alright, that looks done. Megasiv, I've played Archean twice already. I'm surprised that I'm not the one who you heard about it from. Sounds bad to say it that way, but I'm surprised because I hadn't heard about it from anyone until the developer emailed me. Yeah, Bacholi emailed me about it and I was like, this looks interesting. Do I need another pump to drain any purchased stuff? Like, does this pipe doesn't need to be drained, really? Does it?
Power low.
That's not what I meant, Megasiv. What I meant was I hadn't heard about it from anywhere else, so I was like, most people here would probably have found out about it from me, because I only found out about it through that, because it unfortunately hasn't been pushed that hard yet. Even though it deserves a bit more attention. If I ever need them pure. Yeah. Do I ever, like, I don't want to always be purchasing gas. My goal was to not be purchasing too much gas at the beginning. I've kind of lost that goal a little bit. The doorway was the shortest route. It was bumpy, but it was the shortest route. Just then. In my defense. Because I was trying to go straight round. Please tell me I can get this from the other side. Good. So that should just be able to come straight down and join up here. And that's it. That should be all the hookup I need, I think. Oh. Looks like I've run out of steel. Thanks, Jilla. Thanks for the prime sub. Yes, it is indeed another wet Friday morning. Raining and cold and miserable. So my reasoning for connecting this up to the mixed line before the filters is that this way I don't have to think about what I've connected. what I'm buying. It will automatically get sorted correctly by the system that is designed to do that. Okay. In theory, I should be able to buy some of that gas now. Down to 80 kilomoles. Well, yes. Buying fuel is not exactly ideal. And yes, I could buy the pollutant now. Let's do that. Uh-oh. I heard bad sounds. Woohoo! It's dropped the temperature by 8 degrees. Woo! And yeah, I'm going to buy the oxygen. I might buy... Oh, no. I'm going to buy the nitrogen first. Actually, I can afford both. Good. Wait for that to get extracted. Yep. Buy the oxygen. And that's kind of it for this guy. I guess I could buy steam. Oh, that's pretty hot. See ya. Alright, what's our temperature at now? 376 degrees. How did I get water to turn liquid? Weird. I guess now I have to wait for a mining guy so I can sell more stuff and make more money. But that's a lot of... Like, I know it's not a big change temperature-wise. It's about 27 degrees or something from what it was originally. But that's still 27 degrees less that I have to cool. And if I'd gotten the CO2 out before I made those purchases, it would have been an even bigger difference. Unfortunately, now I'm going to be wasting a lot of that CO2 that I just effectively cooled, but it is what it is. Cosmic concoctions. What the heck is cosmic concoctions? I think Space Springs is another liquids and gas thingy. No, the steam won't create condensation problems, Barnaby. It's fine, because I've already got a system for dealing with that steam. It'll be hot enough to remain as steam until it gets to the point where it gets cooled, at which point it gets taken off as water. Oh boy. I don't have any money for this. This guy wants fuel. Ah. Well, I'm out of money anyway, so see ya. I'll come back here later. Back to thinking about furnace rooms. Yes, steam. One of the choices I made that did not end well. Why have I got gas in here? Did something explode? Oh, yep, there's my power problem showing up. I reckon it's just my jetpack equalizing? I suppose it could be. Need more powered vents around the place so that it gets to vacuum quicker. Slash making this place pressurized so it's not as much of a problem. Furnace or solar panels? I think I'll start digging out the furnace room, and once I get through it partway, we'll see if these batteries look worse. So, for a furnace room, I want my hot gas storage, which can probably remain as a, it can probably just remain as a smaller tank. It doesn't need to be a big tank. But maybe I will turn it into a big tank just because why not have a big tank? Needs to have my pipe heaters, my furnace. So I think digging around here to make it, it doesn't need to be a huge room, but it should be an airlocked room. Because I probably eventually want to have an atmosphere around the furnace that's kept at a moderate temperature so that the furnace doesn't bleed its heat off so quickly. The glass houses have exploded. So I'm going to need to repair those and rebuild them. So I think what I'll do is I'll build the furnace in this space here. Here, the gas storage, but maybe with an extra block of safety margin. In case of explosion, or put the hot gas tank at the other end. But it will get a permanent airlock. One that I don't ever plan to get rid of. I shouldn't punch through. Like, I haven't got any windows on this side of the building because it's all stone. So hopefully there's nowhere I would punch through here. Hopefully. If I start seeing non-black ground, then that means I'm near the surface, I think. That's when I have to get worried. I'm trying to think about how to arrange stuff so that it'll be interesting, and I kind of want to make it so that the furnace can be put in its own little room with a wall. But just trying to think of how big that would need to be to make that work. Just check this out again. So I need to have the little room for the furnace. I need to have a big tank. I need to have a bunch of pipe heaters. And I need to have probably a small... Oh no, because the big tank's on the off gas, that should be fine if it's just directly connected. Do I want to keep having these little guys? Maybe they're kind of handy for doing the occasional bit, so maybe room for them as well. So how much room am I currently using up? 3 by 4 realistically. So if I go 4 by 4 or 4 by 5, that should give me ample room to play around with. Oh, hang on. Where are my bags gone? Did I fill them? I think I might have. I did. I need a tool printer. So I am out of space. I was hoping to wait on that until I built the production room though. So I can do it properly in once. Let's just clear out the roof space. Thanks, Command. Thanks for the 16 months. Did I say that on the last stream? Huh. Guess I must mean it then. There are a lot of things going on, and it's sometimes hard to remember what exactly I've done in each of the different series that I play and saves and games and things. That'll happen from time to time. So that's 3 deep. I need to go another 2 blocks. That's worrying. It's quite worrying. Let's get those goggles. Oh wait, the thing's in here. Thanks, Sid. Thank you for a year. So I'm going to go outside and I'm going to go look for that cross. See how close it is to the surface. That rain just got real heavy. So it might even start coming through the microphone soon. Okay, I think I'm clear from the surface. I think I'm good. This is a very handy way of doing this. Also, building the furnace room where I am, it's actually going to be relatively close to where the hot gas can come from up here, which is nice. The hothouse has exploded. Stellar System Store, Space Springs. Stellar Systems. What you got? going to guess that's the largest of the liquid traders. Orbital oceans. What do you sell? Microwave, reagent processor, chemistry station. Okay. And sell you water. Or cable coils. Or electronic parts. Yeah, no. See ya. My plan for the exploded rooftop is to repair it and set up a safety so that it won't explode. That's all. That's all I need to do. I just need to set up a safety so that it won't explode. It should be fine. Dig, 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 dig. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that should be good. Wait, no, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want 6 so that I've got 5 internal. Oh, wait, no, that's the back. No, I'll go 4. I'll stay where I am. Keep it to the same depth as the rest of it. As the, gas storage room. Put some of this away, because I can fit some of it still. Got so much silicon. What room am I making space for? I am making space for the furnace. And hot gas storage. So I've got, hopefully a finally tidy furnace setup. Which will make enough room. Well, the idea of that, well, as I said before, is to leave enough room for my production room and storage. Okay. I'm gonna need, I think I'm gonna need to make the tool printer now. I need storage for all these ores that I'm collecting. And I can only see that there are going to be more of them. Oh, that's tool printer mod. Wait. I made the tool manufactory. What am I talking about? I made one. When did I do that? I didn't remember doing it. All I know is that it's done. But I don't know what's going on. I'm all over the place. Okay, now I can keep mining. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to go 6, 7. 5, 6. And to there. That's as far as I need to go. Then I'll have to print off a bunch of steel sheets and steel frames, which I may want to start doing now. So I am going to need quite a lot of them to put this room together. Oh, that's only going to get 13. Have I got more steel here? Yes, I do. 500, 500. Okay, guess I'll put the 500 in. Ah, sunrise on Venus. See all the effects inside. Thanks, Radical Leo. Thank you for the Prime sub.
Hunger caution.
Hunger caution. Will I get the mining done before I have to go eat? It's nice mining in a vacuum in Venus. Not having to worry that I'm going to kill myself at every single voxel that I remove. How's power going? I'll check that in a moment. I think there are better than 50-50 odds that I will have to abandon my furnace room building and build a full solar array before I get the furnace room. Possibly before I even get it made into a room. Yeah, deep mining rigs is something else I have on the list to do, but are low priority. Because I've got really easy access to lots of materials, so I don't really need to do the deep mining stuff. Plus, there is the advantage of the fact that these ores off-gas, that I get to keep those gases. Whereas the deep ore stuff, you don't get any gas from. Assuming I have a plan, Sund. Assuming I have a plan. My plans for long-running series tend to be just a few weeks ahead, not very long-term. Because there are too many things that can affect it. So now just dig down to bedrock. Not strictly required here, but just in case I want to do something underneath the room. And just so that it's got access to the piping system. Thanks, Maru. Thank you for 49 months. Actually, that is a fair point, Shadow Drake. I could build more storage instead of building more power generation in the hope that the storms are regular enough. But part of my thinking for building the solar arrays was just to have more baseload power, more constant power. So I'm not always so heavily reliant on a big storm coming through and giving me something good. So having that regular daily power from the solar array would be nice. And, like, if I build the... There's no reason I can't do both if I'm getting to the point of building the solar array. I probably would want both, because otherwise a lot of that power is going to be wasted. I'm just excited that I can make stellite. So I figure I may as well make it. Now, I'm still thinking of this thing being run as a hot gas furnace rather than a combustion furnace. So I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with the brain. Brain worky? Come on, brain. What I want to do with the volatiles that I'm storing. I guess they'll be useful for rockets. Maybe? Is that what they're useful for? Do I need to go down to bedrock? I haven't gone to bedrock for this section of the thing. Is this the same height? Yeah. I don't want to go down to bedrock. I'll just stop here. Now let's go see how many stupidly large number of frames I've got. Oh dear. Let's stop that. And then we'll create a pile of sheets as well. Oh, that's a wall kit. That's why that wasn't picking up. Might just place a few of these. So I was thinking, for the sake of not blowing up my entire gas storage, I would double this wall. Build another layer of solid frames here. The risk should be low, but, you know, makes me feel like I'm doing things the right way. Okay, I actually do need to dig out a little bit higher. This room will feel pretty crowded with the large tank, I think, but I think that's okay. And get rid of that. Okay. Give me that thing back. So the gas lines from the gas room will run through here into the furnace room. They'll come around down the bottom, like all the other rooms, rather than doing any sort of shortcut. Because that's the whole idea of having a main maintenance access way. So that it keeps all those things together. Yeah, I probably should get rid of the little single frame that goes up and down, as it is a bit of a stupid thing that I accidentally did without really thinking. I will probably get rid of that. Okay, that will do. I now need some sheets. I'm gonna have to weld all those up while I can access them. I can place at least these down. And I think I'll do the... Might have two airlocks, one for the access way and one for the walkway. Ooh. Just thinking about doing a different style of airlock. Whether I could fit a powered vent in it. I'll try it. I'll see if I can make it work. Doing a sort of a little dog leg airlock to get 2 block spaces in it. Looks like I will need more frames, but need to weld up some of them because I won't be able to access them once I put the next layer on. Dells, the problem is, once I smelt, the temperature of the gas, hopefully, should be lower, or in most cases will be lower, than the temperature in my greenhouse, glasshouse thing that's on the roof. My glasshouse that's on the roof. So, if I need new gas, that's where I'll pull new gas from.
Hunger critical.
That's been the plan, at least. Not taking new gas from the old gas. The old gas just goes to waste. And the new heated gas comes from outside. Alright. Hopefully I've got a bunch of sheets that I can work with. Yeah, I'm gonna have to eat and drink in a sec so that I can not have the heavy breathing, but I'm gonna deal with these cheats first. Weld them in, and then I'll go deal with that. One thing I do need to put some time into is getting more lighting around the base. One of the things that's held me off from doing that is not having an actual roof. So hopefully as I start getting more of these rooms built, I can do that. Because at the moment I've got lighting in the greenhouse, lighting in the dining room, a little bit of lighting in the gas storage room, and lighting in the cooling area that I never go to. Okay, this is, yeah, it's coming together quick enough. Ah, dang it. We got to do a thing before I come through here. Oh, yeah, it's not great on my suit, so yes, I should check this station power too. More important to deal with my food and water first, though. Just checking to see if any of the plants had wilted. They seem like they're okay.
Hunger caution.
I should maybe have enough oxygen in the other room to breathe in it. Let's go check.
Power low.
No, Tough, I haven't got any genetically modified stuff going on at the moment. I've been focused on other things to the extent that anything I tried to do on that was probably not going to get me anywhere realistically. So, 24.7% oxygen at 95 kPa. That should be breathable, I thought. Yeah, 50% CO2 is breathable. It's weird. Andy, this oxygen percentage is higher than you're breathing right now. I do have a pill. Where did I put the pill? There it is. I thought there's no definite information about this. It's really annoying that this breathable stuff isn't in the Stationpedia. This information really should be. Like what the minimums and maximums are for things. But it doesn't seem like it's anywhere in the Stationpedia, which is irritating. CO2 has no effects whatsoever on the Stationeer and Stationeers. So it's not the CO2 we're ignoring. First hydration, temperature control. Maybe it's an EVA suits. Pressure should be set to 50 to 100. Humans in-game can tolerate up to 250 kPa and survive up to 300. Temperature. The default filter is the carbon dioxide filter. You're not using 100% oxygen in breathing gas, add additional filters. Yep. That doesn't tell me anything that I want to know. That's not where it is. It's really not there, Barnaby. 3565 is 35% nitrogen, not 35% oxygen. And we don't need 65% oxygen. No, there's nothing there that says that it's oxygen 35. There is literally nothing there that says that. Genetics, rockets, trading, construction, EVA suits, food decay, growing food, hunger and nutrition, mining, smelting, temperature. Yeah, there's nothing here. That's really annoying. Like, this will definitely be on the wiki. But I don't know why it's not. It should, like, there should be a guide in the Stationpedia for breathable oxygen. Um, Stationeers wiki. Minimum oxygen partial pressure. Yeah, I thought it was 20 kPa. Which I've got, and I had last week, and it still got injured. Yeah, no, there's nothing that says it in the oxygen entry either, which is where it might have been, but yeah, there was nothing in there either. So I'm at 25% with a partial pressure of 100%, with a partial pressure of 25 kPa. So it's breathable right now. Think, because I'm not complaining about it. So it's fine, there's just not a lot of margin for error. Oh dear. Can't even get to the machine. Turn these off. That's probably the biggest mess I've made yet. All right, I gotta flush my suit, don't I?
Low pressure.
Hopefully this will be enough, actually. What I'm doing, at least at the moment. We'll see, though. Always seems to be that you need more than you ever make. So, my plan for the furnace is to build a duplicate setup. Because obviously there's the risk if I try and move it that I won't have a usable furnace when I need to produce something. I'll have a duplicate setup and then I'll just move the hot gas across once the duplicate is set up. And then I can dismantle. Because my plan after this was to build a storage and recycling thing. Do. Yes, do you need more blank? The answer is yes. Most of the time, true. Not always. Don't always need more pollutant. But yes, it holds true for most manufactured things. I wonder if there is some damage that can happen to your lungs that doesn't show up as one of the warnings on the top right. And maybe my lungs were slightly damaged when I tested it before. Nope, Shadow will never hold one of my skulls. I will do my utmost to prevent that ever happening. What is my overall power situation looking like? That's actually still fine. Alright. That's good. That was a good supervillain impression there, Shadow. You may try, but you won't be able to keep me from them forever. It is amusing to me that I've died more in a single player save than I did in a series with multiple people to be distractions. I think a big part of the difference is that Mars is easier. And it's really just been Venus that's killed me. True, actually, that's a fair point, Shadow, that in multiplayer you can be saved. In single player, once you mess up, you're dead. There's no one who can come and rescue you, give you a pill, and save you. Not bad. Half the room done, pretty much. Let's get some more steel frames. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need more steel sheets. But as long as I get there eventually. So what I'm hoping to do with this setup here is have a door on this bit here and have another door over here and hopefully have 2 powered vents in the ceiling. So I can have a quicker airlock that still has correct pressures set so it doesn't have a gust every time I open and close it. That's my goal. I did get the missing frame at the bottom, I think. I think I've gotten all the bits. So one of the things I decided a little while ago that I was going to try and do with all my rooms was fully build out the frames around them. Not just do the bare minimum. Just to prevent that risk of popping through them when I'm mining. Make it a little less likely that something can go terribly, terribly wrong. And how many frames have I got now? Still not enough. The thing was, with the whole breathable oxygen thing, I'd been told, and it was consistent with my experience up until that point, that 20 kPa partial pressure was all that was required. And then last week, I went and breathed in a room that was 20 kPa partial pressure of oxygen, and I died, and I got lung damage. And then I had to take a pill and heal myself. So what was weird is that by everything I understood at that time, that shouldn't have happened, and yet it did. So something else was going on that I've clearly not understood, and that I missed, then I don't know why. But I moved on from that. I'm going to focus on the furnace now. My dining room is dineable again, so that's all that matters. No, I don't think I need a second printer for speed. No. The situations where I run into pace problems with production on things like this are not particularly common. Lungs got emotional damage. Maybe. I was sick of being ignored, punished, barely able to function with the gas mix I was giving them. Well, at Demon Works, if it was 30, me breathing before wouldn't have worked, and yet it did. I was breathing 25 kPa partial pressure just before and it was fine. There's some inconsistencies. Which means there's something I'm missing, because it's more likely I'm missing something than the game is actually inconsistent. It's always so much work building the room to build the things in. Feels like it takes me just as long to construct the room as it does to construct all the stuff that I usually populate those rooms with. Oh. Where's the one I was missing? Didn't do one. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay, I might leave that wall unfinished until I've placed down a few things just to make sure I have created enough room for what I was planning. Oh man, I'm actually going to get through all that steel. How many steel frames do I still need? Oh, Barnaby, that's a terrible way to say that. No, that's a terrible way to say that. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4. 19 more. The key point with the oxygen stuff is that we are aiming for a partial pressure. That means the oxygen pressure in that space. So that's the oxygen ignoring everything else, because Stationeers ignores everything else except for like pollutants in terms of lung damage or volatiles. As long as the gases in there are all safe gases, the only thing that matters for up until we get into overpressure situations is the minimum partial pressure of oxygen, which is how many molecules of oxygen are in that space. And that, as I understood, was 20 kilopascals. So if you've got an environment of 100 kilopascals, you need 20% of that to be a thing. If you've got an environment of 50 kilopascals, you need 40% of it to be that. The first line of your comment was the bit that made me cringe, which is the key point is the required kPa of O2 goes up. No, it doesn't. The required kPa of O2 does not. The required percentage of O2 goes up as the pressure reduces. Which, to be fair, if I was trying to say that, I guarantee I'd say some of the terms wrong. It's super hard to get these all right when you're just blurting them out. And it's so easy. The number of times I'm recording a tutorial and I go back and edit it and I'm like, I just said that totally wrong. And then I'll publish a draft for my supporter group to have a look at and they'll be like, Splitsy, you said this bit wrong too. I'm like, how did I not even hear that when I was editing it? It's like, what is going on? How have I even missed that there? I don't think my batteries are getting low. They're fine. They're actually blue again. My power is fine. It's really easy to read through your own mistakes if you edit those mistakes, if you edit it too soon after you've done it. So what I like to try and do with my tutorials is actually edit them a day later. It was the same process when I really cared about an assignment, would do with assignments at uni, where I would finish the assignment, leave it, and go read it the next day. And I'd be much more likely to then spot the bits where I clearly lost my train of thought, got distracted by something, and then resumed having thought that I'd finished a sentence when I very clearly had not. My suit battery is not low, it's at 96%. There's a band around the nuclear batteries that shows red on that little image. That's all. Why is my suit pressure so much lower than the target? I don't know. I think it must be just that the tank doesn't deliver the oxygen that quickly. So I breathe some of it in, turn it into CO2, and some of it gets filtered out, removed, and then the O2 doesn't fill in that space quickly enough. That's my best guess. It's weird. Cool. Let's go make some tanks. Yeah, the color on the nuclear battery really should follow these colors. But if you look at the air tank as well, you can see that it shows green, but the pressure in it is well below the point that it would show green. The icons just don't change. They're fixed. Tank. Insulated. Yeah. Yeah, put the 100 grams in, and I'll grab the 70 as well. Kit, tank, insulated. Yes, that's what I want. Yeah, I can print my doors too. Need more iron. Got iron over here? No. Is that iron? Steel. Silver. Silver. Oh, yeah. While those are processing, I can have a look at the gas processing and see how it's going. We're down to 54 kilomoles. We're getting there. I reckon with how this is going, we might even get to the point where this is done next stream. I think the oxygen tank actually has something in it. Yes, it does. It has quite a bit in it. Fantastic. My volatiles does not. Got a decent amount of nitrogen stored up, which is good. And yeah, we're up to 7% oxygen coming through, so the oxygen is now properly getting filtered back in to the system, which is great. Which means I can probably... kilovols? I mean, we could call them kilovols. That'd be as likely as a kilomole. As I have been intentionally saying killer rather than kilo. Oh, I need more silicon. How far did I get? 1. No! Oh, like I've got 400 grams sitting right there. I need to smelt some more copper too. One, two, three. Oh. Doors ready. I can probably start making some other bits and pieces as well that I need. Such as a console. And can't make the vents because I'm using that. And these tank parts take a while. But I can make a couple of consoles. See you, Shadow. And airlock. So the reason I'm just building a basic airlock for this room is that this room's probably not going to be breathable. At least not until I've isolated the furnace properly. Where I can still control it, but I don't have to be next to it, because otherwise the room doesn't remain breathable, it just gets super, super hot. Oh, no, stop. Don't need more. Good, we got the big tank. And yeah, true, I could break down that other airlock. This one right here. Big insulated tank for big hot gas. Just thinking about the way that the furnace works. It all just comes in at the back, so it doesn't matter which side I put this on. There we go, we'll have our hot gas there. And I'll have to set up for my pipe heaters. Oh, I should make another furnace. Because that's going to be the center point of all this stuff. Get it built first. Is the advanced furnace built from here? Yes, it is. Thanks, Bartman. Thank you for the 15 months. I have one built in the extra. I do, you're right. Thank you. There. Requires frame. Oh, man. So I think in order to be able to put this in its own little isolated room, I might build a steel frame there and build it here. And I just need the buttons to kind of pop out the front. Because I think if I build it that way, and then I put a wall on it, I think all the heat stays on the other side, but we'll be able to test it for sure. And I think that also works with centrifuges, with the gas that they release. Oh, need electronic parts. Thanks, Paladin Leads. Thanks for the prep sub. Electronic parts. Need more iron, which I threw over here. There we go. Now what do you want? Now you want welding torch and 5 steel sheets. Oh man, thank you very much. Thank you for another 10 gift subs. So 300 overall. Thank you very much. I think I placed that in the right spot. Is that meant to be one row back from there? I think that's right. Need a wall. Let me find a wall. Getting confirmation from chat that I did it right. So yeah, my plan was to place a wall here and separate the furnace from the outside. From this room in here. Eventually. And just do it with walls. But I possibly need to do it with better walls than just a plain old composite wall. Probably needs to be at least padded. Especially if I did windows instead of walls. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need to make this room bigger if I'm keeping this sort of spacing on things. So I think what I'll do is we'll go... Where's our input? Input is the middle one. Oh, is it just the window in the padded section that's higher than regular walls? Okay. So if I do a window, I'll do a padded window. Oh wait, I want to do this. So my plan here is that I will put pipe heaters like this. Oh wait, do I need more space between the pipe heaters? Which way, how was I bringing the power into them over here? On the side. Yeah, I probably want to leave the extra gap to make it clean. So I'm going to put more pipe heaters down this time. Because now that I've reached the temperature, I want to be able to get to that temperature again quickly. So I'll put down 8. And I can increase it easily if I need more. I think the game is dividing some of it into individual rooms. This is room 90. Oh, maybe it's not actually. No, this whole space is probably one room. It's not going to stay that way for long. It's fairly easy for me to fix too. Yeah, this room 90 is probably getting to the near the limits of what the game can handle.
Hunger caution.
Right. So I need some pipe heaters. I probably can dismantle these ones and use them. Since that I've got the hot gas, they shouldn't need to remain. Not that these are expensive. And then I'll set this IC housing up again, same sort of way, where it turns on and off the transformer instead of turning on and off the things themselves. Although I probably could do it so they do the things themselves now. Probably just as easy. Oh, right. These will need a bigger transformer on them, won't they? That's really annoying. Let's tell you how much power they use on there. But I think you guys said they use 1,000 watts each. So I'd need a medium transformer for at least for these. And to cable them up with heavy cable. Unless I have them split on 2 separate networks, which seems unnecessary. I think I'll just do them with heavy cable. Heavy cable and a medium transformer. Wait, large or small? Oh, I thought there was a medium. Now I'm torn. Yeah, if I'm telling the transformers to turn on and off, I don't actually need the data line. I just need the power connected. Medium is from 3 small kits. Ah, cool. Thought there was a medium. Thought I was losing my mind for a minute there. I think I'll put this up on the wall. There. How high does it go? So we need to go at least to 8 kilowatts. But we can go all the way up to, is it 15? Looks like it's 15. Nope. 20? Looks like it's 20. No? It's even higher? 25? Okay. 25 kilowatts. I mean, that's fine, because I'm going to be doing this with the heavy cable anyway. Which I should make some more of. Okay, so start with these going branching back. And I know I don't technically need the data line if I'm going to do things with just turning on and off the transformer, but I think I might do it differently, and I'll instead have the script turning off on and off the heaters as a group. That should be fairly straightforward to do. Oh, that can be the way that goes, because I need to do it both ways anyway. And now I need more cable. No, Emery. I don't want to put a battery in there. Because I've got the system turning itself off when the batteries start running low. For me, the furnace heat is less important than keeping the lights on. So I'm going to add more batteries. I'm going to add more batteries for the whole base, not just the furnace. That'll be where my priority sits with it anyway. I think I've got that all cabled up. Doesn't look like I've missed any bits. Like, to me, this is one of the lowest priority power consumers, the pipe heaters. So, let's see. I need to have that on a loop in it. So once I remove that, I should have enough. Might just stop making that cable for now. I'm going to rip out this. Just one less remnant of the old setup. I'm obviously going to have to completely rewrite that code, but now I'll just pull the thing out. Huh. It does show that the data port for the transformer is on the outside. Interesting. Yeah, I'll put that there. Does that mean I can tell it what to do from this side? That seems odd though, because then I'll cut the power to my circuit, which would be bad. That would stop everything from working. Alright. Oh, right. That's why I did the IC on the other side, because yep. You guys alright? I can't do it this way. Now I remember why I did it the other way. Because I need to be able to see the status of the batteries, and I can't from this side. And yeah, I know I can have the power coming in from a different side to the data. But I need to be able to see... The data needs to be connected to this side anyway, so... Okay, so we'll run some heavy cable, I think around the room at this height. So I'll start printing off some more because I'm going to need more to get around. I think I still can control the transformer. I think the thing where it shows that data symbol might not actually be correct. We can check. Because if I can apply... Oh, no, there's no device. It isn't. Okay, I do have to separate these. That's a bit weird. That's very odd. You're going to transform a medium. Yes, yes, yes. Hunger critical. I did not expect that symbol to actually be accurate. Don't know why I didn't. Seemed like such an odd way to do it. Well. If I can get in behind the tank and actually run this heavy cable around here. Uh-oh. No, don't be like this. I think I'm gonna have to remove the tank to get this in. Yep. Grrr. There's a mirrored version of the transformer with the data on the input line. Oh, so that's an option. Okay. Well, I've set it up now. I'll leave it. I actually quite like it this way. Means I've got fewer devices on this IC chip, but still getting the power from where I want it. Wait, no, this doesn't work for me. So I still can't see the batteries. I need to see the batteries. I have to reverse the thing. Ugh. Let's change again. Wait, no. Reversed is just the other way round. Am I not going to be able to use this? Do I have to use a mirror thing? A logic mirror. Feels like it would be easier just to have two separate networks with the all transformers. Just turn them both off. Oh, man. What's this logic mirror? Let's see if I can understand it at all. What's it under? Guessing logic IO? Yep. Table. Okay. Logic mirror. Doesn't even have a description in the Stationpedia. Fantastic. So I'm thinking, looking at what the symbols have on them, I want it there, where I've got data coming in from the top, got data going out the bottom, and power coming in from the top. Yeah, because the IC is connected up to the data line on the transformer, and then in theory, connected up via the logic mirror through this thing. Except that has not going to work, because that's only going to do one device, isn't it? Because I'd need batch. You can use it to control the transformer. Yeah, that's probably a better way to do it. So, if I wanted to control the transformer, am I sending a signal or am I I'm sending a signal, so I want it this way. Oops. No, because I get to set the in, not the out. The mirror functions as a reader, but will not function as a writer. So I could just use a logic writer. Send the signal to the logic writer and have the logic writer turn the transformer off. Couldn't I? That makes a lot of sense. And I could even do it as a batch writer and just write to all of the heaters. I'm just gonna eat and drink so I can stop the heavy breathing. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. Just batch write to it and send the signal to the batch writer. There we go. That'll all fix itself up. And I'm good. Back to troubling through logic. The way you wrote that, Beer Seeker, doesn't make sense. So I will burn that bridge when I come to it. Okay, so we got power going into the batch writer. Output type. Pipe heater. Output variable on. Input. No readable devices, because I haven't connected that side up yet. This needs to be removed. Just think about how I might build this, and I think I might move the circuit housing up. There. That'll be neat and tidy. Feels weird to be using a logic chip. I haven't used one in so long. In is from the IC housing. Cool. And we'll go... Yeah, device 0 can be that batch writer. Which I will name because these are going to be on a larger circuit with other stuff. Heater batch. IC heaters. IC heaters and heater batch. Cool. Now we should be all right. I'll have to write the code for that. I don't know what I had in the old code yet and how easy it's going to be to convert. I'm almost certainly going to need to redo that cable once I put the airlock in, but I'll deal with that when I get around to it because I'm not sure exactly where to put it yet, so I figured I'd just do the quickest connection I could. All right. Before I put the heaters, yeah, the heaters can operate. I can work out this code and I can start testing it without actually having any gas in that line. That shouldn't be a problem. Now, where did I leave my laptop? I think I left it in here. No? Did I not? I thought I had. Does anyone remember where I left my laptop? Still in my dining room? Or is that on my main floor? What did I do with it? Kitchen? It's not in the dining room. I thought I'd left it in the gas filter room. Where was it? I went past it. Of course I did. Huh? Oh, over here. That mixer system. That's what you were talking about. Sorry. A bit slow on the uptake there. I'm gonna go grab this chip. We got device 0 is the batch writer. Alright. So for coding, let's get our hygiene improved. Import. Edit. Fine. Battery power. Yep, that should still be fine. Alias heaters. Device 0. Yeah, that should be fine. Battery ratio. 15. Yes, that should be fine. So the main thing is this line that needs to change. And this line. So what? So I need to send them setting? If I was saying is, if I understood it correctly? Emery, there is, 4th of July was yesterday in Australia and has 0 meaning to us whatsoever. Although it is, I did have to send someone a happy birthday message yesterday. And I know the people in the UK had to vote. So this should work? Setting is the variable on the batch writer. Okay. Why DB? Why set DB? If the device is device 0, I think you set the IC10 housing setting. Oh. And read that as the input to the batch writer. Thanks, Johnny. That's the bit that I was missing. Yep. That makes sense. So that should do it. So the setting of the IC housing is set to that, 0 or 1, and then I can read that and it'll mirror it. What's line 6? Oh yeah, why did I... Oh, right, I was duplicating this so that I could read what it was finding the battery ratio by just looking at the thing. So we'll have to get rid of that. Otherwise it'll confuse things.
Oxygen low.
Uh-oh.
Oxygen critical.
Uh-oh.
Low pressure. Pressure critical.
Uh-oh.
Temperature critical.
Uh-oh. Ow. My face.
Oxygen low.
That happens far too often. Oopsie. Okay, so we turn you on. Put that in there. Turn you on. Turn you on. Turn you on. And all the pipe heaters turn on. So the other thing I wanted to do with this, let's turn that off because we don't need these on at the moment. The other thing I wanted to do with this was set it so that it would turn them off once they reached hot enough. So once I reach comfortably above the temperature for stellite. It's probably once I reach 2000 Kelvin. So what I need is a pipe analyzer. I could take it from the tank, couldn't I? This may need less cable. Than cabling all the way over the tank. So I can put it on there and then I can just cable straight up. Let's get a label. Furnace, hot gas analyzer. There you go, put that on D1. And then I can test that and turn off the whole loop if it's already hot. Hey. Okay. Oh boy. Where is the data connection on this? Oh, it's around the side there. That wouldn't have been horrible to connect, but yeah. We'll just stick with the pipe analyzer. That's fine. So, device number 1. Need to assess it for temperature. And if high enough, don't do things. Alias, analyzer. Yeah, whatever. D1. So load into alias gas temp R14. Load into gas temp pipe analyzer temperature. That should work, right? So that loads the temperature. And branch greater than gas. Branch to line C if A is greater than B. So if the gas temp's going to be in Kelvin, so if I make it 2000, that should be fine. Oops. No, I want this gas temp 2000. Oh, no, I want this less than. No. What? Hang on. Hang on a sec. Hang on a second. So what I want to do is I want to check if this is over 2000 before I do any of the actual other stuff. The other stuff, I only want to run those loops if they're working, if it's lower than that. So we'll do this. Branch if less than 2000, go to heating. Otherwise, sleep for 5, and then go to start. After turning the things off. STB setting 0. So it'll load the gas temp from the analyzer. If the gas temp is less than 2000, it'll jump to heating, in which case it'll check to see if there's enough power and see if it can actually turn itself on. If it's greater than 2000, it'll turn the heaters off, wait for 5, go back to the start and run through that again. And then if it runs the heating stuff, that should all be fine. So yeah, cool. That should work. Just one sec. Charlie wants in. Charlie, you're very insistent. Oh. Hello. You stay in, or are you just going to come in for 2 seconds and then want to go straight back out again? Oh, I know why you want in. Hobie's at swimming, isn't he? That's why you want in. No one's at home to keep you entertained. I'm your backup option. That's what's going on, isn't it? Oi, what are you doing? Stop tearing your bed apart. All right. Cool. So export that. And we should have a functioning and safe system. Yeah, eventually, Dells, yes, I will need to have this also pumping in new gas from the rooftop glass house. That is yet another thing that needs to happen. But not yet. Not worried about that just yet. Right. I need a floor, so let's get some floor plate. Which I might have had some around here, but no, I think I've just got wall bits. I think I've got some in the gas room. Oh, there we go. And go plating around the outside. I'll just do all plating for now, and I can think about how to decorate it later. Or never. As the case may be. This is my furnace room. Less inclined to worry about its decorative state. I probably should care, because it has been so nice having a few rooms that are actually feeling somewhat more complete. Alright. And then some steel sheets. I kind of like the plating flooring anyway, so I think it's a good default, and then I update it when I'm ready to. Oh yes, and ceiling lights. That is another thing I need too. I also need to sneeze. Nope, the sneeze failed. Which is always such a hollow feeling. So disappointing. Yep, need power to the furnace, I know. I just wanted somewhere to stand in here. They are a different direction to the base floor, but there'll be a different floor inside the airlock, so that's okay. And I don't like having the whole room with these. I want some plain ones and different stuff. Next step would be piping up the waste from the furnace. Which needs to go down to the floor. So let's go that side and then down. And instant regret on placing the last piece. Because I need the color. So if I'm going to do this, I'm also going to do the thing that people have been telling me to do for a while, which I should have fixed up ages ago, which is get rid of this thing. So that I don't have that little uptick. That's totally unnecessary. Oh wait, I do want to T-piece that initially. Otherwise I'm deleting some gas. There we go. What am I doing with the waste heat? The waste gases just go into the big waste tank. That's my plan. So that'll get cooled off by the system that I've got in place for cooling. Most of the time, the furnace gas that comes out will hopefully, at least this was the idea, hopefully be cooler than the gas that I can get from my glass house. So therefore, I'm better off cooling it down further and utilizing it for things rather than trying to recycle it somehow. Yeah, Beer Seeker, I would plan to have the access way pressurized like the rest of the base. Actually, let's get rid of this frame now. So that's just ugly. I need more pipe. I've got a little more here. And almost there. Where's my next bit gonna come from? Oh yeah, thank you. That is something I would have forgotten to do. I do need to turn the pipe analyzer on. Let's do that right now. Also should make at least a ladder access way internally here. And connected. That should work. Probably need to have more of this piping running down as my waste pipe for various things. Other, perhaps. Because I'll need to have that for the centrifuges and stuff like that later on. Which I guess this lower space could be used for. So I don't really have another purpose for it, so I could fit out this area with it later on. I'm gonna make stairs. Or ladder. Stairs, ladder, stairs, ladder. Stairs take up a lot of space. They are nicer. I'm gonna go stairs. So I need more room. Because I also need to get my arc furnaces in here. Because I decided I wanted to do that. For no big reason, but it's just one of those things that I do like to have. When I just quickly need some iron or something. Feels like the sort of thing I'll use less and less as time goes on, but I have continued to use even till now, so I may as well have it ready to go. Rule about do you need X also applies to space. Yep. I do find it so easy to make my rooms too small in Stationeers, but equally, I seem to also make my rooms too big sometimes. Basically, I get the room sizes wrong. is what that boils down to. Like that my gas storage room, there's a lot of empty space in there that probably isn't needed. It almost certainly isn't needed. But then in other dimensions, it's possibly not quite long enough for the spacing that I've put things in. So it's somehow both too big and too small at the same time. Which I think is an achievement. Yeah. There is that other side of things of if you build too big too soon, I think is probably more accurate. Not too big, but too big too soon. It takes you so long to build it that you actually end up costing yourself a lot of potential progress because you just can't build. You just can't do it quickly enough. Uh-oh. Oh, man. I'm gonna fill this mining backpack before I get this done, I think. Yep. It is full. It's what I was thinking of doing. Is there... Actually, let me see if it's even possible. I should be able to embed these in a wall the same way that I've done the other furnace so that I can drop stuff in the front, but the gases all come out on the other side, right? Think? Is that right? Is that a thing I can do? Or do I have to set up actual controllers so I can toggle it when I need to? Avoid what I can, which is that much. Yeah, I'll need chutes and stuff. That's... Yeah. But I wonder if I can access the controls through the wall. That's what I was thinking. Sure, I'll do. That works for now. Copper bag is full now. Yeah, I just don't like the aesthetics of the chunky controls from outside thing. That's why I was trying to avoid it. Not because I didn't know whether it was possible, but because I didn't like it. I'm gonna grab this gold because, well, oxygen. Is that gonna be enough room? Maybe go one more. So I still need to make stair space. Thanks, Doogie Boo. Thank you for the 5 months. Yeah, Toff, the reason I want to have a wall for the furnaces was if I have a wall and I can keep the furnaces in their own separate enclosure, then I could potentially have it be breathable inside this room where I'm controlling stuff from and just have all the gases be handled in a separate room within the room. It's sort of like my ease of use stretch goal. And then eventually, if I decide it's worth doing because I'm processing a lot of very hot stuff or something, I could, in theory, also create a microenvironment for the advanced furnace so that there's a bit of gas in the room that's left hot so that it doesn't lose heat so quickly to the surrounding environment. But so far I haven't needed that, so I'm less inclined to worry about that so much. That feels like a very late process thing for me to try and optimize. As once I'm doing that, I'm sort of the yield I'm getting from each thing I do is significantly diminished compared to other stuff that I do. Yeah, that's the thinking. My other thinking is I can put like a little corner stair in that goes down to the bottom floor, and should have enough room up the top here now for both of those little arc furnaces. Oh man, keep filling up. And this is why I haven't needed deep mining yet. Still happy with my ore multiplier. I think it's probably a little overly generous for the way I play, but I think overly generous for a live stream is better than restricting and slowing down just because it takes a long time to mine. On balance, I think this is the better option. It's better to have too much than too little. But yeah, it's probably a bit more than I would have. No, I'm full. I got the stairwell block. Oh, that's right. I haven't used the stairwell blocks. Back. Make one more. Because I keep being overly full. Huh? Is there a different stairwell block? Oh, there is. It's a different kit. My unsorted ores are just going up here because I don't have room for them. Yeah, I might try the stairwell. It's a little more compact, I think, from what I remember of the pictures of it. Which may mean it ends up feeling like half stairs in Space Engineers where you're constantly snagging on the edge if it's a little too tight with collisions. I think this downstairs space will work nicely for centrifuge and sorting. When I eventually get to that. Okay. Just one more layer to mine. Dig, 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 dig.
Waste tank caution.
It's so nice being mostly within my base during a session like this, because my waste tank doesn't constantly fill. Outside's scary. There we go. All right. Should have the iron I need. Are you building things just now just to store resources? Sort of.
Hunger caution.
Hmm. Hmm. Let's see how the stairwell's gonna look. Need two of these. Yeah, they're pretty big, the stairwell, but not sure whether I like this more or not. Oh, and it requires a frame. Okay. Requires steel frames. Oh, not steel sheets. Screwdriver required. Now steel sheets. Oh man. They certainly gave us a lot to build with this. And I'm gonna have to add floors into this, aren't I? For this to work? Oh wait. No, never mind. I see how it's supposed to work. The top one has to turn around. I think for this room, not sure the stairwell does what I want it to do. I think if you had a taller base, if I ended up building a tall base, then yeah, might do it. Or if I had a room that I designed around this, it might have worked better. Because that's probably how it's supposed to be. Steel sheets. Then I could walk down and back out. I guess the nice thing about them is you could turn them into an airlock that goes over multiple floors. But I don't really want an airlock here. They're interesting. I'm glad I've looked at them because now I can think about where I might use them, but I'm not going to use them here. Take a long time to deconstruct too. Alright, just empty my tank while I'm thinking about it and passing this thing. Let's get some regular old stairs. Elevator instead. Ah. I like the elevator. I think I've built too flat to make it feel like it is justified. Do I want to go one more further along? I think I might do. Yeah, that's where I want that. Now we need a bunch of frames. Yes, if I build a penthouse, maybe then I'll get an elevator. Get some floor. Yep, this is working okay. It's looking alright, looking like I wanted it to. Steel frames, make them so.
Hydration
Go there.
critical.
Alright, they can make that while I go and eat and drink. I'll worry about picking the plants another time. I've saved up seeds of all the different types, so even if they do rot a little bit, it's not a big deal. Because I've got enough seeds to replant them all in full. I got some more water today, Chuck, actually. The water levels in this are not great. I need to connect this system up to my proper main base water. But I'm hoping I can eke out the water supply for that just long enough to make sure that this is finished and then I can work on the production room and then a proper living space. That's my hope. I'm not sure it's going to happen, but it's my hope. We'll see how that goes out and see how if it works out. So that's going to be an awful lot of frames for the floor. Gotta weld those up and then I'll do the walls. Actually, I can place the ceiling as well, can't I? No, Toff, I didn't explode. You're fine. How many more frames do I need? I need heaps, so I'm going to need to put more steel in there. Means I'm probably going to need to manufacture more steel after these are done. Maybe it can be the first thing I do with my new furnace. Maybe. I'm actually pretty happy with the progress I've made today. It always feels slow, but I have got this new furnace room to almost functional. If I piped over the hot gas, it would be functional. And if I go, well, that's printing off more steel frames. If I check on this gas tank, I have gotten it down to just 29.9 kilomoles or kilovols, whatever it is, of CO2. So that's more than half of it gone. That's down to 17 megapascals. That one's down to 4. And that is at 58%. I need to keep an eye on that. Those should still be good. That's 66%. Yeah, those big CO2 filters are doing fine. Same with those. Of course, those will be fine. Yeah, we're good. Furnace is not powered up. That's true. That is... Okay, it does need more than just the hot gas. Fair. I forgot that I hadn't powered it up yet. That would have hopefully been recognized very quickly. Abaddon, it'd be nice if the PV equals NRT worked consistently. I think I'd like it if we had adiabatics, but we don't. It's close to PV equals NRT, but it's not quite there. There are some aspects of it that are missing. Alright, that's all the frames I can deal with for now. Pretty much. Make a gigantic pile of steel sheets. Have I got enough room to place these without blocking off access to... Yeah, probably. Thanks, Kenny Mart. Thanks for the prime sub. Yeah, that's literally all I can... Oh, no, wait. I can... No, that is literally all I can place for now. until I weld up the corner ones. Oh, yeah. The only reason I want the adiabatics is because I'm struggling with cooling and I'd love to be able to pressurize and depressurize things to mess with it. But the fact that we got phase change is pretty awesome. Certainly, I don't intend that previous statement to be a criticism in any meaningful way. Just as an, aw. There are some moments where that feels like that would be nice. I've got so much mountain above me, it's ridiculous. I don't think... What? Why do I have storm? Uh-oh. This is world now? Oh dear. Grr. I'm trying to make the space smaller. That means all of my stuff on the floor is getting damaged. No, I can't jetpack up. I can't fix it. It's bad. This could be real bad. How can I close this space off if I can't jetpack up there? Oh, this could be terrible. I'm not actually getting gases in here, I'm just getting the storm effect, so just all my stuff on the floor is getting damaged. Well, I thought putting the walls up would create a room. I don't have enough doors, and I can't get to the doors. I can't get back up. It does mean that my entire base is treated as world right now. There we go, I made it up. So these are all getting damaged. That's getting damaged. That tank's exploded. My expensive stuff's getting damaged too. No. Curse my hubris for leaving stuff on the floor. What's if I go around here that's valuable? Oh, has the storm stopped? I think the storm stopped. Nope, the storm has not stopped. Ah! Ah! So annoying. I have no idea what I've lost there. At least I had... Oh, where's my laptop? I was about to say, at least I picked up all the stuff off the floor in the gas storage room. Dining room and greenhouse are their own independent rooms. They are 100% fine. It's just this gigantic room that I never separated. Oh! I think... Geez, they were close to damaged, to destroyed. Yeah, if I close off the gas room... Oh, it's blocked by the pipes. Right, can I get you? Uh-oh. I think I'm stuck down here now. Nope. I'm stuck. I don't think jetpack power is enough to handle the storm. Oh, maybe it is. Just. There's a frame. Yeah, well, just do that. Okay. We're in room 131, and then we are in room 130. That was annoying. Oh, geez, I need to turn that thrust way back down. Here's a separate room. Good, good, good. No, I'm not getting distracted by a weather station and a weather alarm. I'm just going to close off this room and actually finish this room, which is what I was trying to work on. And all this happened. Because this room was always intended to get an airlock on it. I'm not sure if I lost any of my ingots. But I can make stellite, so that's not a problem. Like, most of the important stuff had made it to shelves eventually. But at least the with the atmospherics room cut off, I've got a lot of extra headroom for expansion before I'll run into problems again. Oh yeah, and a klaxon alarm wouldn't work here anyway because I've got vacuum, or near enough to that the sound wouldn't propagate. Alright. Disco lights. Yes, disco lights would technically work. Then I need another lighting system. I haven't even got a first lighting system. Yeah, I suppose you can beam it to your suit, but where's the fun in that? One second. Well, at least this convinces me I will make rooms. Lots and lots of rooms. Yeah, agreed, Wasted. I think it's probably pretty close to time or it's after time. I didn't realize that you were waiting for me. Morning, Wasted.
Hey, dude. Yeah, you were doing
Sorry,
circuit
mate.
programming stuff. And then,
Happy for you
and
to
then the base
interrupt
fell
whenever.
apart.
No need to wait for me.
But if I hadn't waited, then we wouldn't have had that wonderful encounter with the storm on the inside of the base. So,
Yes,
you know.
that's true. Not sure wonderful is the word I would have used for it, but I guess it added some drama.
That was great from this BOV.
Curse of making my rooms too big. So, did you end up learning anything about the scripting for Archean during the week?
Little bits, but more like I need to now play around some to get my head around, like get some context to what I read.
Yeah. I think that's the only reason why I've been able to learn some degree of programming stuff in games is because they give me nice little snippets of context in bite-sized chunks that mean I can sort of understand it. Yeah, that'll be it for Stationeers for today. I'm going to switch over to Archean with Wasted. Hopefully next week I won't destroy half my base with the storm inside. But yeah, hang around. We'll be switching over right now.